38 people heard her scream. No one helped. At least, that's what the world was told. A young woman, alone, attacked outside her apartment. People walked by, lights flickered in windows. And yet, the world thought she died in silence. Hello, I'm B. Cooper, and this is Echo Time. In this video, we're going to talk about one of the most disturbing stories in modern history. A story about silence, a story about witnesses, and a story that changed how we understand human behavior forever. We'll examine the events of that night, the media frenzy that followed, and the psychological lessons that came from it. It was the night of March 13th, 1964, in Queens, New York. Kitty Genovese, a 28-year-old bartender, left work late and began walking home. At approximately 3:15 a.m., she was attacked near her apartment building. Reports later said the attack lasted over 30 minutes. She was stabbed multiple times. She screamed. She cried for help. Neighbors would later claim they heard her. Some even saw parts of the attack. And yet, according to the widely circulated story, nobody came to her aid. But what really happened? How could a woman scream in the middle of a populated area and no one intervene? The New York Times and other newspapers reported that 38 witnesses had seen the attack and did nothing. The story shocked the nation. Headlines screamed about apathy, indifference, and urban coldness. This narrative spread rapidly. People were outraged. Psychologists and journalists began asking, how could human beings be so indifferent to someone in mortal danger? The media framed it as a moral failing of the community. It wasn't just a murder. It became a symbol of something larger, the failure of bystanders. Psychologists Bibb Lataine and John Darley studied the case. They identified a phenomenon now called the Bystander Effect. The principle is simple. The more people present in an emergency, the less likely any one person is to help. Individuals assume someone else will act. Responsibility diffuses across the group. Experiments later confirmed this pattern. People in groups often freeze, hesitate, or rationalize. The Kitty Genovese case became the textbook example. It wasn't just about New York, it was about human nature itself. But the story wasn't entirely accurate. Not all 38 witnesses were fully aware of the attack. Some called the police. Some tried to intervene, but were scared. The press had simplified a complex situation into a moral panic story. Later investigations revealed key details that changed the narrative. Not all neighbors saw the attack. Many heard only parts of it. Some people did try to call for help. Kitty Genovese was not ignored completely, though she tragically died before adequate help arrived. The exaggeration by the media created a lasting myth that 38 people watched and did nothing. Still, the story had a lasting impact. It made psychologists study human behavior in emergencies. It shaped emergency response training. It forced society to ask difficult questions about courage, fear, and moral responsibility. Why didn't people intervene? Fear is powerful. Witnesses might have been afraid for their own lives. Confusion plays a role. Did anyone fully understand what was happening? And social pressure. People look to each other for cues. If everyone seems calm or passive, individuals hesitate. The story of Kitty Genovese also shows how media narratives shape perception. An exaggerated headline can create a lesson that sticks far longer than the facts themselves. What does this case tell us about human nature? It tells us that sometimes, even in moments of crisis, human reactions are unpredictable. It tells us that responsibility is both individual and collective. And it tells us that silence, whether real or perceived, leaves a lasting imprint on history. Sometimes, the most frightening part of history is not the crime itself, but the silence that surrounds it. It is a reminder that courage is not automatic, and that each of us may one day face a moment where action or inaction defines us.